Hi everyone, it's Amanda Jean here with another video, and today I wanted to go ahead and discuss a article I recently wrote for Anna, who writes Rockin' and Rollin' with Spina Bifida. My article was entitled Inclusion, Where Do I Belong? The way I'm doing this video and the article itself may have slightly worded differences, but nevertheless, I hope you enjoy both my blog and my article itself. And the link to the article is down in the description below. Please be sure to check out that content as well as Anna's website. To understand this article, you have to first understand a little bit more about my childhood. When I was a very, very young child, my mother knew because I was born premature that there would be complications. When I was little, my mom noticed that there was problems with me saying. I did not meet all my milestones, such as walking, crawling, etc. And she just kind of watched me with the help of my pediatrician and the eye doctor. And when I went for my little baby checkup, I think it was around 6 months, they said I would be fine. However, as I grew and I started going to preschool and even beyond that, my mom still noticed I was having problems seeing. She took me back to several specialists who kept saying, she should be fine in the regular classroom, we'll just keep an eye on her. Around kindergarten, the teachers also noticed I had problems with writing and other hand tasks, so my mom went and took me to a specialist, and it was found that I had cerebral palsy, which for me, that means that when I was younger, I had problems with walking, running, and problems with fine motor skills, such as writing, getting that hand strength. So I was put into physical therapy to help gain some of that muscle strength back and to make everything nice and tight, where I could walk like my peers and do some fine motor things such as picking things up and things like that. And then as I got older and I started needing to do more writing, we also worked on occupational therapy as well to help with learning how to write better, and that helped solve some of my problems. However, as I progressed, I still struggled with reading and some academic tasks. In second grade, it was diagnosed that I had dyslexia, which, for those of you who don't know, dyslexia means that people with it can struggle with reading, writing, spelling, and sometimes math, but that's called dysgraphia, I think, or yeah. Anyway, I went into a program to help me with my reading and my spelling, and that helped as well, but there was still something else missing. As I continued to move up in my grades, 3rd, 4th grade, my teachers started to notice that I still struggled with seeing, as my mother kept having to write notes saying, Amanda can't see her homework. I would complain at school I can't see the board even from like the front row, and they started noticing it and putting it in my individual education plan. My mother used to take me to my yearly eye appointments, and all I can remember from being real young was the fact that I had pain because I have nystagmus. That's where my eyes constantly move, and there's no cure for it right now. And I can actually feel it move, not necessarily with my glasses, but when I have them off. And to me, it kind of is uncomfortable. It's not really as painful as I remember, but I just remember feeling a move, not feeling very good during my eye appointments. And then the fact that I couldn't really see the eye chart really didn't help either. My eye doctor finally did say I would benefit from large print and sent some documentation over. And towards the end of 4th grade, I was tested by a qualified teacher of the visually impaired, and it was found that I indeed would benefit from large print, 24 font, I believe it was at the time, on light blue paper. The next following year, 5th grade, I received my first large print book. I remember not really liking it, feeling I was different. Just, my peers were wondering, why is she getting such large print? So my teacher, had to explain why and all that. And eventually, I did accept my large print, and I realized that, hey, this is helping improve my grades. I'm doing really well. And eventually my teacher said she is doing extremely well for a student with a visual impairment. Fifth and sixth grade went by. It went really well. 7th grade, halfway through, my family moved from Texas to Florida. And when I made that transition, I was in middle school, and I was registered with a teacher of the visually impaired here, and I received my large print books to finish up the school year. And then in 8th grade, I really didn't have a visually impaired teacher right away. I did receive my large print, but the teacher I had at the time ended up moving up in the company. And so I had to wait for another visually impaired teacher to come in. That's when I was also enrolled in the low vision program, where instead of using large print all the time, I would be given low vision devices such as magnifiers, reader aids, etc. And due to that, the teachers decided to go ahead and reduce my use of large print books, because of the fact that when you're an adult, you're not always going to have access to a copier, and these low vision devices, they are cheaper, they are easier to maintain and to carry around, which at the time I felt different. I felt very confused about what I was supposed to be called. Was I supposed to be considered, still a student of the visually impaired, or was I just a normal person that needed these magnifiers? So as an adult now, I can reflect back on that, and I do see the benefits of my low vision aids, such as a magnifier, etc. However, you do have to realize that with the technology nowadays, the iPhones, etc., a lot of that, I feel personally, is being replaced by technology. Now you can just tap on your screen and it becomes a magnifier. So there are advantages to technology today. However, I finished up 8th grade with the use of my low vision aids because I went through training. That went very, very well. Then in 9th grade, it was decided that I would continue the special education track to go ahead and graduate with my special education diploma. I finished up 9th grade with the use of my low vision aids and large print when needed. Made straight A's. Wonderful. Great. My sophomore year, when it was time to renew my IEP, I decided to go ahead and request a change of FAPE, which stands for Free Appropriate Public Education. And basically I said I wanted to be in regular ed so I could go to college, etc. And they were like, okay, but on the grounds that you do your graduation requirements for every student. And that I agreed on, no problem. Sorry about adjusting my glasses. Then once my IEP everything was all set, ready to go for next year, I had to schedule everything. My mother ended up dying in February, a week before my birthday, of a heart attack. My world was shaken and things were upside down. I finished up my sophomore year with plans to still go ahead and continue into the general education program the following year. I was supposed to go live with my father and my stepmother, but because of my educational plans down here, it was decided that I would go ahead and stay here and finish my education. My father allowed me to move in with my loving, caring grandparents. In my junior year, I started my regular education. Things went really, really well. I made good grades. I even used my low vision aids. However, because I did not have any income, and I was 16, about ready to turn 17, we went ahead and applied for Social Security and Disability and SSI. However, I was denied, and my grandparents on my behalf went to a lawyer who spoke about it, and it was determined that I would not be eligible. Okay, so I just kept going on, making good grades and doing fine. And then I graduated in 2008 in May, not only with my regular diploma, but with honors as well. I had a scholarship, and I ended up going to the local community college, where I was able to sign up with the Disability Resource Center. They were amazing people who helped me with accommodations such as getting things in large print if needed, my books on tape, whatever format I needed. And I did fine. I got my AA in August of 2011 and then moved on to the local university here. And like every college student, I had my ups and downs. That's normal, and I did well. I, had, again, accommodations from the disability services, which were great. And then I ended up graduating with my bachelor's degree in journalism in December 2013. After that, it was time to go ahead and go out there and get a job. Well, I tried for a few months without any success, so I went to my vocational rehabilitation officer, and I said, is there anything that we can do to try to help me find employment? And he hooked me up with job coaches, and come to find out that when you have a disability, it is a little bit harder to work in the job market to find a job. For me personally, because I can't drive, because of my nystagmus, I'm finding that not having a driver's license is very, very difficult. A lot of the times, a lot of the applications ask for it, and I've been turned down for 600 plus jobs. And that is very, very difficult. But there is still hope. There is always hope. And I also found that during my job hunting, that many people would not understand what the Americans with Disabilities Act is. And for those of you who aren't from America, that's basically a law to make sure that people with disabilities have equal right to employment. And I feel, me personally, that a lot of the employers don't understand it. They just don't have the knowledge of it, and that's all right. Not everyone's going to be perfect about knowing everything. And also, for me personally, I have also found that because of the way I look with my nystagmus, a lot of employers, or not a lot, but I would say a handful of employers are wondering, because I look like I'm on drugs or drunk because of my eye condition, they think that, even though obviously I'm not. It's just the way I was born. It's just the way my eyes move, etc. And it's about for them to understand the condition. And because the condition is not so known over here, I would say, I personally feel, that they don't understand it either. And like I said, not everyone is going to understand everything. With that being said, I found lots of wonderful, great support groups for people with nystagmus, and they are great. However, I have found an even bigger divide. I have found that either you're in one or two categories, and they're broken down a little bit. Either A, you can drive, or B, you can't. So you're put in one category or the other. For me, it's you can't drive. And then there's also people that have had surgery, or those who haven't had surgery. And I can't have it because of, my eye doctor doesn't think I would benefit from it. Now, I have my own opinion about the surgery, and that's my own. But I find that there's a breakdown between either you can or can't, or have or haven't. So there's that. And then here in America, at least, there is also a divide between if you're legally blind or not, and if you're on benefits and if you're not. And I am considered low visioned, not legally blind, so that puts me in that category. So with everything stacked against me and the way I feel society needs more education on all these areas of disability, it makes me question inclusion. Where do I belong? Because I feel a lot of the times I have one foot on each side of the world, the sighted world and the visually impaired world. And as I've grown up, it feels like I have to make the choice of where I want to go, in a way, even though there are things and categories that push me in one way or the other. I'm fine with being visually impaired. Yes, it's challenging, but that does not mean that you can't have success. You can have success with nystagmus, with a visual disability, or any disability. It's all about, as I've said in this year's theme, more movement, patience, and positivity. And I believe with those three things, for me personally, I can achieve anything. Anything. Except for driving, because I can't, but that's alright. I can still be successful. But until society changes their minds and see that I'm a capable, hard-working young woman that can achieve, it makes me question inclusion. Where do I belong? Guys, that's all I have for today's video. I would like to know, what do you guys think about my article and what I think about what I spoke about today? Do you guys, if you have nystagmus out there, do you feel the same way I do? If you have a child, what are your concerns about for their future? Let me know down in the comments below, and let's have a discussion about it. If you like this video and you liked what you saw, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And also, please check out my article to which I'm speaking on today. It's down in the description. And I will see you guys again next Saturday. Bye!